Hey YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Decided to come back on and talk to you guys a little bit about how the narcissist holds businesses, workplaces, and just companies in general hostage by their presence. They hold them hostage. They hold their employers. They hold the companies hostage and all the employees inside of it. And how they do this is, obviously, you know they're toxic, you know they're low vibrating entities. They come in a place and they want all the attention. They need to be the center, and if you are the center by chance, you have to be eliminated. So I was driving by the service stations of one of many service stations convenience store, and it just something struck me because I know of a few of them that are narcissists, and I see a pattern here with these cashiers at these convenience stores. I talked about this a little bit before in a video about how when you go in they are so loud and obnoxious, talking about nothing important, trying to seem important, no discretion on what they're talking about. But had you said something out of pocket to anybody, including the person you went in the store with, they would have issue with it. They would talk about policy and etiquette. It's amazing how they reflect to you their vile behavior and make it be yours. So they hold hostage these companies and establishments anywhere that they're employed at. They're kind of like the homeless that hang around places, vagabonds, panhandling. They are employed panhandlers. And I noticed this convenience store, it was only 2 cars there, and it's the 2 individuals that are employed there. Just casually observed this, but I've also, as empaths and chosen ones happen to do, we always pay attention to detail. And I've noticed on several occasions, and it's a Sunday, it's kind of raining out, it's kind of laid back day, there's not a lot going on out in the streets, and so everybody's kind of staying in. But there are times when I've gone by this place and it almost seems like a ghost town. The particular convenience store I'm talking about. And what I mean when I say they hold these establishments hostage, they go in and they're so toxic, their energy is so dark and is so low vibrating until it tends to have a stench. And they can turn a booming establishment into a mortuary. There's no life in it anymore. If anyone can relate to what I'm trying to say here, let me know, because these people's aura has a very vile stench. Because when you're awakened and you know what these people are, you're able to recognize and identify one of these individuals right out the gate, because especially if you're so connected with yourself and the true self that you are, you can recognize the phony, fake facade, because they're not even good at it. Once you're awakened, it is comical if it wasn't so pathetic and dark and disturbing. It would be comical. And they will stand there at the registers when you walk in. Hi, how you doing? They'll speak to you before you come in the store. You got one leg all half in the door and one leg following to come in. And it's just so uncaring, but pretending, but it's so robotic. And these people just make these establishments so dark and so dank and so just, they make it so where you don't even want to go in this store. And that's not by design. That's because they're emitting the odor that they possess. They're emitting a stench. It's to the point where people don't even want to go in there who are pretty solid and sane, because it's like walking into an insane asylum. You can feel their energy that they're not there to help and to serve a customer. They're self-seeking, self-serving. And you figure, how can it be that a cashier gives off this kind of energy? Or a person that a coworker gives off this kind of energy, to the point where you go into an employment establishment, you go into work and you start feeling tired, you start feeling sick, you start feeling nauseated, you start feeling unenthusiastic about being there. I went through this for a little while, and not so much the illnesses and the sick part of it, but in my spirit just did not want to connect with most of who was in that place. And it wasn't anything personal, it was just what they were emitting, the stench that they were giving off. My energy would read it. And likewise, they read my energy. I wasn't amused by their presence. They were disturbed by my presence. And they always will be. I'll go into Home Depot and the Lowe's. I'm just waiting there in the line to pay for my stuff. I'm quiet. I'm just looking straight ahead. And you turn to your left or your right, you're just casually killing time, looking at merchandise on the shelf, and you have eyes locked on you like you are some type of sideshow. And this is not imagined, and this is not making it about me or me being so special as opposed to anyone else. But you possess a special trait that these dark energy vampires can't attain to. And this is what they're after. And they can't possess it, so they're disturbed at your presence. I just wanted to tell you this. These people will ruin an establishment. I told the HR lady, you're going to destroy this company. And this is a Warren Buffett company that I worked for too. He bought this company maybe a few years ago before I became employed there. And I admire Warren Buffett. Just to hear this guy talk, me personally, I really can appreciate the knowledge that he gives off. Unlike Bill Gates, how they salivate in a sense where you think they are trying to give off some nuggets, but they're self-seeking. And Warren Buffett, fun fact, he didn't become a millionaire until after 50. So I read about him, and it's just so interesting. He has a real decent work ethic. I'm not saying he's 110% solid, because I don't know that much about him. Anyway, that was the company in which I was employed for, and it was a decent job, but the energy and the aura and just the vibration and the stench in that place made it very disheartening to be there. And I went in with a pretty decent attitude, because obviously I was after surgery I went on custodian, and I didn't really have to be in close proximity with anyone. Only thing I was my duty is to keep the place clean, and I was right at home with that, because I didn't have any issues, nobody bothered me. But I just had this attitude about work where I went to work and I appreciated the fact of being there. And that disturbs people in and of itself, because what you're doing, you're making them look shady. You're making them look like slouches. Because if you're putting in just 50% in the average workplace today, you're actually making that sloth look bad. That lazy bum, you're making her look bad when she's not doing anything at her desk. You're over there getting paperwork done before lunch break. And this stuff goes on and on and on, man. So these are the small nuances I wanted you guys to recognize and pay attention to. Because you think because you're out of the narcissist relationship, and I'm sure you're not that, you're not that in the dark. You know that these people exist everywhere. But what you don't always understand is even the convenience store, even the service station, even the corner store, even the Dollar General or Walmart. You go in these places and these people will hijack you for a conversation that's going nowhere because they're talking to you, and all the while they're looking around while they're trying to have a conversation with you, making you believe that they're actually trying to engage with you in a conversation, but they're just using you for the attention. I know someone relates to this. When you become so intuitive to who you are and the presence that you possess, you understand that most people in the world are all about themselves. And that's fine. But the difference between the narcissist and you and I, empaths, we can go in a place, get our milk, get our cereal. We can look around casually and at the same time not miss a beat. We're on the way out. You get these individuals, they'll go in there, they will dress to the nines just to go to Walmart and start an argument. They will dress up and look their very best, like a shiny, shiny, shiny new car, to go and walk through Walmart for 3 or 4 hours looking for supply. Having conversations with every single person they run into. This is so disturbing. And pay attention to these small nuances, because these are the things that will have you exhausted at the end of the day when you go home from work or whatnot. Just I just pointed out, the employer or the employment environment or the service station. You will engage with these people sometimes. Unbeknownst to you, you're drained and you don't know why. Don't share your energy with these people. When they engage with you, you just nod your head. Keep it moving. Otherwise, you're not going to realize why you are feeling so drained. They have an energy exchange they get from you without your consent. Understand me well. Figure out the context of where I'm going with this. Meantime, be blessed.